Yeah, I first want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the Apostle Els, great minister under the well. Salutations to the Arkim, to the in truth. And blessings to the elect, to the 1/3 of Israelites scattered worldwide, please to be saved. What can I say? Well, let the film do the talking.
We're hearing from the co-captain of the Area 2 riverboat, the man at the center of the riverfront brawl. Tonight, WSFA 12 News has obtained copies of the statements he made to police about what happened that day. In the meantime, a fourth arrest has been made in the case. 21-year-old Mary Todd, you see her here on the right. She joins 3 others, all charged with misdemeanor third-degree assault. And according to newly obtained court records, all 4 suspects are accused of attacking and injuring the riverboat's co-captain, who has been identified as Damian Pickett. Pickett lays out what happened in the moments before, during, and after the fight. Another witness who says her son was attacked, also giving her statement to police. Both people go into detail about their injuries and insults, some of them racial, they say, came from the attackers. WSFA 12 News anchor Rosanna Smith brings us those details.
In these court documents, Damian Pickett tells his story of what happened at Montgomery's riverfront. The co-captain of the Area 2 says he received contusions to his rib area and knocked on the back of his head and forehead. He says it was a result of being punched and kicked several times during the brawl caught on camera Saturday night. In Pickett's statement to Montgomery police, he says he was on the riverboat with his captain when they noticed a couple boats close to their docking area. They called on the intercom at least 5 or 6 times for a black pontoon boat to move. He says the boaters responded with obscenities, something Police Chief Daryl Albert outlined in his news conference this week.
They were only responding to what I've seen gestures, curse words, and taunting.
Pickett says he, along with his deckhand, the 16-year-old victim, got to the dock, and that's where the men confronted him. In his statement to police, Pickett says he told the men he was just doing his job. He says a man fired back that the dock was public. Pickett says eventually the men attacked him. He told officers someone hit him from behind. He tried to defend himself by choking the man in front of him. Pickett says he then remembers another man tackling him. He believes he bit one of them and heard one threaten to kill him. The mother of the 16-year-old deckhand in training who was with Pickett was also on the boat. She gave her statement to police. She heard the men yelling and using racial slurs and mentions of getting a gun. Court documents reveal the 16-year-old was punched in the chest and had bruised ribs. Pickett identified Richard Roberts as the main assailant, Alan Todd as the man who tackled him, and Zachary Shipman as the man who hit and kicked him. All 3, along with Mary Todd, face assault charges. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation. More charges could be coming sometime soon. A lot of people have been asking if this is racially motivated. MPD has been working with the FBI, and they do not believe at this time it meets the criteria to be considered a hate crime. Now,
All right, thanks a lot,
Wow.
Rosanna. And you can read more about those statements made and that fourth arrest in the case.
Now, did you see that, man? So basically, the Jake was doing his job at the port, trying to get the boat out of the way. Alright, it was on the intercom. They called out 5 times to the owner, and then the owner comes out, an Edomite, full of entitlement. How dare you tell me to move my boat, this, that, and the other? And then, one of them pushed him. I mean, this is incredible. These are the people in question. But what makes me laugh is this, man. Hey, the Jake security guard was like, listen, don't touch me.
To newly obtained court records, all 4 suspects are accused of attacking and
once you touch him, it's on, man.
Co-captain, who has been identified as Damian Pickett. Pickett lays out what happened in the moments before, during, and after the fight. Another witness who says her son was attacked, also giving her statement to police. Both people go into detail about their injuries and insults, some of them racial, they say, came from the attackers. WSFA 12 News anchor Rosanna Smith brings us those details.
in these court documents, Damian Pickett tells his story of what happened at Montgomery's riverfront. The co-captain of the says he received contusions to his rib area and knocked on the back of his head and forehead. He says it was a result of being punched and
Look at
kicked
this, man.
several times during the
5 on 1.
following
5 on 1.
Saturday night.
Then you
And
see the guy in blue trying to actually help him.
Says he was on the riverboat with his captain.
All right.
They noticed a couple boats
So
close to
a
their
couple of
docking
Edomites in
area.
that
They called on the
in that
internet
little
at
crowd
least
did try to help him.
6 times for a black pontoon boat to move. He says the boaters responded with obscenities, something Police Chief Daryl Albert outlined in his news conference.
See? So the guy's just doing his job. And then they start cursing him, swearing him, and they actually touch him. Once they touch him, it's on. He throws his hat up in the air, and he goes to defend himself. And about 4 or 5 of them come. Now, when you watch it, there was one Edomite woman and an Edomite guy that was trying to, split up and stuff. But for the most part, most of them, they were ready to just beat the crap out of him, including a woman, man. You know?
They were only responding to what I've seen gestures, curse words, and taunting.
Pickett says he, along with his deckhand, the 16-year-old victim, got to the dock, and that's where the men confronted him. In his statement to police, Pickett says he told the men he was just doing his job. He says the man fired back that the dock was public. Pickett says eventually the men attacked him. He told officers.
Oh, look at that. It's on.
He tried to defend himself by choking the man in front of him. Pickett says he then remembers another man.
Look at that. Look at this, man. See, the guy in the blue is trying to get him off. And the woman in the sky blue is trying to help. For the most part, 5 of them are on this guy. But then the Jake, this Jake actually goes, this Jake boy who's only 16 goes actually in the water. He sees his brother in trouble and jumps in the water, no regard for himself, and swims like a madman to get over there and to help this brother. That's beautiful, man. He was his brother's keeper. That was beautiful. No? Beautiful. And it was prophecy as well, man. It's prophecy as well. That's why we're going to go into it. Alright? And listen, that coconut coon fear that many of you blacks have, you have to understand that a lot of us, we don't have that disease. So if they put their hands on us, we're going to fight back, man. And that's our God-given right to defend ourselves. Alright? It's our God-given right, man. You know? And then after that, more Jakes entered the fray, man. You know? Let's see what I can see here. More Jakes entered the fray. Let's see. And it was incredible and it was beautiful. Alright, it was beautiful, man. I repeat, it was beautiful. Alright? It was beautiful. To see our people like, nah, you ain't gonna do this. You know? You ain't gonna do this. Who do you think you are, man? You know?
These amazing LED light bars
You
transform
ain't gonna do this.
a dreary space into a cozy and inviting one in seconds and costly.
Listen, not all of our people are coconuts, man.
Dock fight that you've seen everywhere. I think this fight, that brawl on the dock in Montgomery, Alabama, can be described in 3 words. If you're black people, it's described in 3 words: the hat, the swim,
Yep.
and the chair. And white people, it can be described in 1 word: entitlement.
Entitlement.
Because
That's right.
honestly, I'm glad nobody got hurt, seriously hurt. So now that it's over with,
And he's right, entitlement. They think that they're entitled. They think they're, you know, I don't know who these people actually believe and think they are, man. You know? And when you go on more and you look at other, what's it called, video on it, alright? I think this is a good one. This woman was trying it, man. Get out of the way, man. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh, don't touch the lady. Don't touch the lady. She ain't no lady. And then the rest of our people are like, what? What's going on? What's going on? We got your back. We got your back, man. And he's like, look, it's on. Look at this disrespect, man. Look at that, he just flips his hat up. He goes, nice on.
About what happened here.
That was beautiful, man.
Taking the time to be here.
That was beautiful.
Thanks for having me, John.
And as I said, that was prophecy. Listen, we ain't gonna stand for your bullshit no more, Esau. You know? The ones of us, listen, the Lord can just click his fingers and my people can wake up and be in the neck of their enemies, man. Alright? Afflicted. That was prophecy, man. You know? And we want to see prophecy in all shapes and sizes and forms. You know? We want to see that. But it's beautiful to see that, because that is not only about prophecy, it's what is coming in these last days, man. Division, race riots, alright? Beautiful. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man, which is the Israelites, man, we are, alright? The righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such that have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. In great boldness, man. He said in great boldness. Alright? And this was great boldness. This was great boldness. Look at that. He just flipped his hat off. Look, see? It's on. That was great boldness, man. Okay? So that's what's coming. And this is end time prophecy. So see, this is more proof that we're in these last days, man. Alright? A lot of our people are waking up and not going to have it, man. And the beautiful thing about it was it became an all big out battle royale, Royal Rumble, man. You know? And many of our people who saw this guy getting attacked, they were actually on a cruise ship, you know, one, you know, tour ships and stuff. When they got off, they just came to see what's going on, you know, and to defend their people. Okay? Their people, not everyone, their people, man. Like you backs that say, oh, I love everyone when no one loves you. It's madness, man. That kind of thinking, that coconut kind of thinking is gonna get you killed, man. You know? Going around saying that you love everyone when no one loves you. You dummies, man. Alright? You dummies, man. Do you see the sense of entitlement that cracker had? He said, look, I don't care if you got a uniform on. To me, to the world, you're just a nigger. That's the way they looked at him, man. That's why he said, no, you ain't treating me like a nigga. It's on. He threw his hat up in the air and he went to the battle royale, man. Alright, this is Genesis 49:8. Judah, thou art thy brethren. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Yeah, because they're the head tribe, man. They're the head tribe of the southern kingdom. Really, but they're the head tribe of all 12 tribes. Because Yahushua comes out of Judah. I'm a Judah as well. Alright? And with great power comes great responsibility, man. And those people represented. Judah, it says what? Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. See, thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. You know? What does that sound like? What does that sound like? Sounds like this. Look. Neck of thine enemies. The neck of thine enemies, man. Neck of thine enemies. Neck of thine enemies. Neck of thine enemies. It's like you're strangling someone. Alright? So Judah's going to be in a pain. He's going to be a pain in the neck. For you crackers, man. And that's what you got. Alright? So Judah, thou art whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Okay? And he's the head tribe. That's why it says, thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Because they're the head tribe, man. Yahushua comes out of that tribe. So the word Zion means monument. And the way we conduct ourselves, we are Zion. So that's why the Lord is very strict upon us. We're supposed to be conducting ourselves as children of Zion. We're representing God on earth, and we're supposed to do that by keeping His laws, statutes, commandments, you know, and not being a pussy. And they did well, man. They represented. They're in the neck of their enemies, man. All right. Okay, and all this is beautiful because it's getting what? It's getting the lion king, or the lion cub to turn into a lion king, you know. And when a lion is roaring, boy, it's the most terrible sound, man. You know. Judah is a lion's whelp. Lion's whelp. See, there you go. More prophecy, man. More prophecy. Genesis 49:9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down and he crouches as a lion, and as an old lion. Yeah, see, so you're looking at prey go by you. You're a lion, but you're an old lion and you're so lazy, or you haven't got enough energy, you can't chase the prey. That's the mental state of our people at the moment. They're subservient coconuts. But the Lord said what? He said, who shall rouse him up? So all this sense of entitlement, you know, the wicked shit that you crackers do, you know, etc., is arousing our people up to wake up to know their enemies. In time for what? Biblical prophecy, man. Alright? Because one of the prophecies to come is what? Division and race riots. So we saw a glimpse of it there, man. Matthew 24, I think it is, yeah. Matthew 24, you know. Yeah, when the disciples said to the Lord, you know, what's going to be the signs of your coming? And if you go from verse 6 or 5 onwards, that will help you out a bit more. Alright, number 5 says, for many shall come by name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See ye be not troubled. All these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Alright, here's the point. For nation shall rise against nation. Nation is short for nationality. So in that clip there, we saw Israelites versus Edomites. That's one nation against another. Kingdom against kingdom. That's like America versus Iran, etc. And really America versus Russia, because Iran, if you look in Ezekiel 38, Iran, Syria, Ethiopia, Libya, and not just Libya, some of these North African countries, and Russia, they're going to be a coalition, and they're going to go against America in World War III. Alright? So wars and rumors of wars, we've got that already with Ukraine, alright, and other places around the world having wars. Okay, but it says nation shall rise against nation. Nation shall for what? Nationality. Okay, so that's what's coming. And then in verse 8 it says, all these are the beginning. Alright, the beginning of sorrows. Beginning of sorrows. So that was beautiful. Now there's some of our people did some kind of reaction to what was going on, you know, in this Montgomery, and it was in Alabama as well, man. You know, and we know the history of Alabama. Remember they burned down the church with them little girls in. So race is very racist, very segregated, you know. So anyway, let's see some reaction towards this brawl. See what people are saying on both sides of the aisle, you know.
That was out there doing their damn job, not just to keep you safe, but to keep everybody safe at that dock. Lord, look where his croc's got his whip.
That's right.
TikTok is weighing in on the Montgomery Brawl. There are a ton of videos if you just go to the hashtag Montgomery Brawl. Everything from serious videos to reaction videos to comedic videos.
She's not bad, man. She's gonna be a good concubine. Alright. that little Edomite woman there in the video, she's gonna in the kingdom of heaven, she's gonna be a concubine. All right, for the elect, man. Lord Widow, one of the elect, she's gonna be a concubine, man. You know. See, they don't actually envision payback. They have to understand that this clock is ticking on their kingdom, man. All right, like it says in Job, there's a period of time that they can't pass. Once that time kicks in, the Lord's going to take them down, man. That's why Yahushua's return is glorious. It's going to be a transference of power. You know, them relinquishing power, whether they like it or not, and the Lord giving the power to us. You know, the elect, starting with his elect. 12,000 men for each Israelite tribe, man. All right. And it says that they will do greater works than Yahushua. That's what it says in John 14:2. Okay.
I'd like to laugh. I'll be honest with you. It's a very serious issue. I'm just going to preface this. This is a very serious issue. People, if you know, you know. Go watch the video if you want. There won't be too much of that, you know, the fighting and everything in here. But, you know, there was a huge brawl, altercation, whatever you want to call it. Lots of people, you know, going at it. But here's the thing. It all started with one person doing their job. And so that's the serious part, right? Unfortunately, he was attacked. And then everything else that ensued, you know, obviously got out of control. And things can get out of control. So if you don't know about what happened, the riverboat was trying to park, and there were some folks in the way, and they wouldn't move. And the person in charge asked them to move. They wouldn't move. And you'll see in this video what happened. But there's also a lot of other things that happened. So let's dive in.
Hey, players. So I've been on this earth for 38 years, and I have never, ever,
Look at his Crocs.
seen anybody get beat out of their Crocs before. And this is the first time for everything. Just like it was the first time for the Montgomery uprising.
I didn't know Crocs could do that. Later in the video, don't tune out yet, guys.
There's a lot of history. There's one.
Straight up comedians on TikTok.
They're making fun of it and that, but there's a part, I think it's MSNBC, that do a good why are blacks in an uproar, this, that. They're getting pumped and excited, you know, because they saw crackers get their ass kicked. You see? Deep down, you know that they're your enemy, man. Deep down, you know. You see? This is the one. Alright?
This game,
That's the reason why you feel happy inside, man.
you're not ready for it.
Because you finally saw payback happen. And that's on a small scale.
We've all seen this video by
You know?
now. The brawl on the docks of Alabama's river.
Look at that, man. Jakes were getting down, man.
Black men came to the rescue
You see that?
of
That was
the black
beautiful, man.
riverboat captain.
Look at that chair, man. Chairs and everything, man.
After they were
Wrestling,
to their
WWE.
pontoon.
Look, oh, it's on, man.
Thousands of memes,
See? Judah,
songs,
man.
and collective black joy.
Yes, joy, man. Barakatiyah Basimiyah Shai.
Montgomery was the first capital of the failed Confederate States of America. It was once one of the largest slave trading communities in the country. Commerce Street, where the enslaved were paraded from what is now known as Riverfront Park to the slave market, was named that for a reason. The city of Montgomery and the state of Alabama were early focal points of the civil rights movement. It's where Rosa Parks refused to yield her seat to a white man, where Martin Luther King Jr.'s house was bombed. And it was 50 miles west in Selma, where a young John Lewis and Hosea Williams led 600 demonstrators on what was supposed to be a peaceful march to Montgomery for voting rights. They were less than a mile into their journey when, just after crossing over
Look at
the
that.
Edmund
Violence,
Bridge,
man.
they were viciously beaten by law enforcement in what became known as Bloody Sunday. To know that history is to have a better understanding of why a brawl on an Alabama riverfront
That's it.
resonated so deeply.
Look at that, man. That's it. Judah's getting in.
Joining me now
Beautiful.
is the Mayor of Montgomery, Mayor Stephen Reed. Mayor
That's
Reed,
right,
thank
man.
you very much for coming back to the Saturday
How
show.
dare you put your hand on us, man?
Thank you so much for having me.
Don't matter if it's a lowly Jake,
Mayor,
man.
what were your
We're
thoughts
royalty,
when
man.
you first saw that video?
Putting your dirty hands on us, man.
I think when I first saw the video, I was as surprised as everyone, certainly disturbed by it, and disappointed by the actions that those who were in the wrong place.
Hey, me and the brothers met up and had drinks when we saw this, man. When we saw the conclusion. See, look at this, man. See, look at them, man. See, the blue one's trying to help and the crackers turned against the cracker on cracker crime, man.
Confident that justice is being
That's how much they hate us, man.
Oh, I'm very confident. I think our
The woman in the blues trying to help.
the community has been very, very supportive. Those who are on the boat, those who live here, those who are able to provide video and eyewitness accounts, all of them have been very helpful. And I think our approach to this has been methodical. It's been very intense. It's been something where we have left no stone unturned to get to the bottom of this situation.
Good.
You know, I outlined the history of your city for viewers who might not know sort of the centrality of Montgomery to the history of Alabama and to the history of the United States. So I'm just wondering, how has this event in your city with that history affected race relations there?
You know, I think race relations here are always a work in progress. I think like much of the nation, we deal with the discord that has been in our political environment, certainly in recent weeks and months and years.
Yep.
That's not helping the situation at all. But I think in this situation, a lot of people saw what happened. They were uncomfortable by it. They were uncomfortable by the racial perception of it. I was uncomfortable by the same thing. And certainly
And apparently, I think this happened a day after Donald Trump went to Birmingham, Alabama. I think a day before, Donald Trump did an appearance over there. So his minions were pumped up, you see. So when you blacks go out there and say blacks for Trump, there was an old coconut man, an old coon that was at one of these Donald Trump rallies in a suit that had graffiti on, and it had the American flag of liberty, and a cracker came up to him and started racially abusing him. And then the black guy was going, I'm on your side, I'm a Donald Trump supporter. The cracker didn't care. He still started calling him the N-word and stuff like that. You see, you can love your oppressor all you want. See, them scriptures that the devil used in slavery is still in the psyche of our people. One woman said that to me years ago. She goes, so the Bible says to love my enemies, and that's what I'm going to do. And she talked about that when it comes to Edomites. You see how the conditioning is so strong. So when our people saw this, the ones of us that are not in a spiritual coma, we're praising Yahweh Shem Yahshai for this. And that's just a snippet of what's to come. Alright? So we're not free. Alright? We're not free at all. Because at the end of the day, I mean, look at the sense of entitlement he had. He did that because he thought he could get away with it. And the reality is he could. You know why? It's his kingdom. That's why we're waiting for a new kingdom to come, man. Which is going to be righteous. Not like this one.
As a black man here, as the first black mayor of the city of Montgomery, you wonder whether or not this is a step back. I think for us, the outrage and the feeling and emotional feelings that we had toward what we saw is something that we channel to make sure that now that we're in positions like mayor and police chief, we can do the right thing. And I think from the community standpoint, it'll be up to us to make sure that one, people realize those who were arrested and committing the assault on the gentleman who was doing his job are now from Montgomery. I don't think it's emblematic of the city, but I do think it speaks to a level of discord that's in the environments, in the atmosphere, still around race, not just in our.
It's there, man. It's there. It's there, man.
Excuse me. Joining me now, senior White House correspondent at the Grio and MSNBC contributor April Ryan. April, thank you for coming back to the show. What were your thoughts when you first saw the video of the brawl in Alabama?
Jumping for joy, man.
I believe it. I thought about the setting as you so aptly went through history, and I couldn't believe it. And then I kept seeing other videos coming, different perspectives, different views of where the man who jumped in the water came from, the chair, all sorts of
things. Man.
And then I put my journalistic hat on and started asking questions.
You're getting beat up.
Questions.
You're getting beat up. That's a woman on it. There's a woman getting beat. That's a woman, you know. She's like, get off me. She get her head beaten. Oh, it's a chair. Look. It's a chair. Bang, a chair.
From a man who died who became a martyr
Bang, a chair, man.
violence. And talking to
And that was a wrestling chair.
she said,
Hey. That was a wrestling chair. Those are the chairs that you get in wrestling. But that was full force. You know, usually in wrestling, they stamp their feet. They go, bang. That was full force, man. You know? And there's actually crackers on here trying to say, oh, that was a woman. You know, you don't hit a woman. The woman was joining in when they were beating the crap out of the black guy. She was joining in. Okay? You see?
She said this was an oh hell no moment. However, nonviolence is the prescriptive. What does violence get us? And as you see, there are more arrests happening, and also the gentleman who was defending in retaliation for what was happening to the black man by the white pontoon people who didn't want to move the boat, hit him with the chair. Now he's arrested. So it continues. It's a ripple effect. But Jonathan, as a journalist, I started asking if what we're hearing, you know, that's coming out of Alabama, if indeed there were issues of, racial slurs or epithets, what happens now? Does the federal government step in? Is this now deemed a hate crime? There's so many tentacles to this. This is not just a cultural moment. This is one of those moments that is one of those markers in history.
Well, you know, in April, to that point, the moment I started taking, I saw the video, but then the reactions to the video and all the memes, all the social media posts, it took me back. I don't think I've seen anything like this since the OJ verdict. When you...
That's right. Well, what it's just doing is causing division, and that's what the Lord wants, man. You know, He wants that. He wants that, man. You know, he doesn't want you dumb coconuts holding hands with your oppressor. That's coming to an end, man. Alright? And the ones of you that are holding on to them for dear life, you're going to be thrust through by the sword, man. Alright? Alright, this is 2nd Ezra's 15 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another people, and swords in their hand. You know, and right now the swords were chairs, the swords were fists. You know, I mean, that chair was, wow, man, that was brutal, man. That was full force. That was a man, full force, bang on a woman. But remember, she was getting involved when the black guy. I mean, 4 or 5 people on one guy, and you're a woman. And you've got so much hatred in your heart that you start joining the kicks. So she deserved what she got, man. You know? Alright? 2nd Ezra 15:16. For there shall be sedition among men to rebel against authority. That's what sedition means. Sedition means. And invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So there's going to be a time where they're not regarding the people that are in authority. Alright? And they didn't regard him. He had a uniform on. He was a man of authority for the port. And they didn't give a shit. See? So they did not regard their kings or princes, man. He was a man, not a king or prince, but he was a man in authority. You see? So that's why regularly watching the news online, especially online, man. You know, over here in England, you're not going to see that on the UK TV. Alright? That's why I'm watching the news daily, man. Alright? Because you don't know when prophecy is popping off. This is all prophecy, man. Okay? So we know that we're closer than ever to Yahushua coming back. Alright? And to all those people that are saying, well, they shouldn't have done this, they shouldn't have done that. There's one time at camp once, we would have a camp, and we used to have this microphone thing, yeah? And we're teaching the word or whatever. I was on the side, and some coconut some zombie, some black zombie, walked by and pulled out the cord of our amplifier. So basically, we're talking on the microphone, it's being amplified out. As soon as he pulled the plug, you know, all of the amps weren't working. As soon as I turned, I saw him do it. I said, "What the fuck?" I said, "What the fuck you doing?" You know what I mean? We pushed him over and we beat the shit out of him for about, I would say, 15 seconds. You know, and sent that black zombie on his way, man, and put a Hebrew curse on him as well. All right, we're gonna defend ourselves, man. You know, he shouldn't have touched our equipment. You know, but in reality, we're not to be carnal. We're supposed to be spiritual. You know, because at the end of the day, we're gonna get carnal when the Lord gives us spiritual powers. So we have true power over our enemies. But right now, even the average Jake over there is not having it no more. All right, and that's a good sign, and that's something that the Lord wants, because we're gonna have race riots. Nation shall rise against nation. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. I'm gonna put a link in the description box for a couple of these videos so you can watch the incident yourself. All right. I give more praise to you. How about you? Shine, double honors, the Apostle Elsbeth Millstone, that rule well. Salutations to the Hakim, teach one Syrian truth. Blessings to the elect and one for the Israelites scattered worldwide. Peace be saved. Stay strong, stay in the Lord's shalom.